I just did my little spa night, okay? And I didn't want to like slam a bunch of makeup on my face. So I'm just doing a little of this. That's it. That's what you get. My face. Listen, I want to know what the heck is going on. I've made a couple of videos now about airplanes. I know some of you have been very concerned, saying, hey, I got to get on a plane. There are ways that you can keep yourself safe, spiritually speaking, okay? And that is, I mean, we'll get into some of the more practical little spiritual things, but more than anything, strengthen your intuition. If you feel like it's not safe to get on a plane, don't get on a plane. Now, I don't remember if I shared this, but whenever I'm boarding a plane, when I get to when I'm getting ready to come into the door, okay, I always put my hand on the outside of the plane. I've just always done that for a couple of reasons. One, it just feels like it's good luck, so maybe it's just a superstition. But it also makes me feel like I'm connecting with the airplane. And I literally say, thank you so much for keeping me safe. And the other thing is that outside of that plane has touched a part of the atmosphere that I'll never get to touch otherwise. So I think it's kind of cool that it's been up in the air. You know what I mean? So I always kind of make contact like that. So just kind of grounding yourself so that you can listen to your intuition if it's telling you that something's up. Okay? Now, some of the more practical things I was sharing in some other videos. Tumbled amethyst. I think I talked about you don't want to take, I mean, you could take a raw piece of crystal. That's fine. You just need to be prepared for them to stop you at security, at least here in the U.S. I'm not sure how it works outside of the U.S., but here I have been stopped numerous times. Like I shared before, I also had really lovely conversations about the crystals, but still, if you don't want to be held up, just keep that in mind. And of course, working with Raphael and Michael, of course, but Raphael helps with travel and making sure that you have smooth, easy travel. All right. I can't talk enough about the interference around planes and travel. There's some interesting shifts going on too. For certain, there are going to be changes around jobs, the housing market. I think we're heading, April feels like, and March is weird too, but April, this is timeless, but this is what we're coming into. So no matter when you see this, you'll get some value out of it. But right now, as of the recording of this, March is wonky, wonky, wonky. And then April is just sort of like again, and it's around illness. So, do I want you guys getting all hyper and or not hyper concerned and like rattled by it? No. No, but just do be aware. I do get a big message that we need to be taking care of our health. Please, this might be more of a United States cultural kind of thing, because we're, everywhere you go in the US, there are fast food places. Those are designed to get us addicted. So please make sure that you're being mindful of that. The salt, the sugar, just anything that's kind of wrecking your body. And I'm guilty of this too. I am very much a grab something on the go kind of person. So there is that. Now I want to see what's coming. There's been talk of asteroids and like all kinds of things. Every time I look at my... Oh, okay. I'll explain. Every time I look at my phone, there's something else going on. So I picked up this deck, okay? And we're just going to clear that out a little bit. My candle's right there. But this card was with it, and it felt like I needed to take this. So we're going to start with this random card first, and it says, focus upon divine and perfect health. God and Archangel Michael, thank you for continuously reminding me to focus upon perfect health and for guiding my actions so that they support my well-being. That's a little weird. Okay, we were just talking about perhaps something coming in April, something that kind of mimics what we've been through before. This time feels a little more serious, though. And we are already kind of dealing with that because of, I don't know what I can say here, but there's so much. Okay, so job market. If you've noticed, and I've heard this from a lot of people, and when I do readings for people, please understand when I do personal readings for people and I hear a lot of people asking the same question, I'll tune in and ask the angels kind of a general message. What can I deliver to people in a video? Because clearly there's something going on, and clearly this is working through a lot of people. So one of the things I keep hearing about is it's impossible to get a job. Wanting a master's degree to, do a job that you don't need a master's degree for. Wanting to use one person to do 3 jobs and then treat that person like they're not doing anything, right? Or like what they do isn't important, and making, barely minimum wage or maybe just above minimum wage. There is a squeezing happening energetically, and it is to get us to wake up and to start, I don't want to use the word fight, but to stand up and say, no, I won't do that. Now, I saw somebody on social media, they made a video. They had shown up for an interview, and they didn't schedule anybody to do his interview. And they were like, do you want to come back another time? And he's like, no. Like, no, I don't want to come back. I made time. I, put all of this effort into my cover letter and my resume. And, you treat me like this. Now, another thing, last time I was job hunting, they were making people take tests, like 45-minute to 1-hour tests, just to see if they might want to interview you. So wanting people, like, oh God, there's so many issues coming up around this, like mandatory unpaid overtime, just a lot of injustice, just so many things that are expected. Now, if you're sitting there and you're somebody who's been looking for a job, or you want a new job or something like that, and you're like, oh my gosh, well, how do we work around this? The message that I'm feeling right now, and I'll talk about personal readings here in a second, because I think I've confused everybody. So hopefully I can give some clarification here in a minute. But I'm just feeling this out. I don't think things are going to change too much in the coming months. Now, for those of you who are looking for work, it might be the kind of thing where you have to get with a temp agency if you have something like that near you. Maybe you're not doing, your life's path job, but a lot of people are just doing what they can. And there is a huge movement going on where it's anti-consumerism. We are not buying anything on February 28th. Please do not surge buy before and after. This whole movement is a cleansing, and it's, people, again, it's the anti-consumerism. So it's using what you have, repurpose what you have. Who cares if it's not pretty, as long as it's clean and functional, like whatever. And I say this because I was just, I was changing out the linens on my bed, and I looked at it and I'm like, maybe it's time. I don't like how this is literally what I did. And now that I'm going to say it out loud, it's so embarrassing. But I'm like, this sage green doesn't really go with my comforter. I don't think I like this. I better go nope, I am not buying anything new. Who cares if the sage green doesn't go with the slightly grayish and cream colored? Who cares? Nobody cares, okay? They're clean, they're soft, they're high quality. I love them. Like, just use them, right? So keep that in mind, okay? So there's going to be an adjustment here. I also very, very much feel like we're already in sort of a depression, and we have been for quite some time. But I think there's a big lesson here, or things coming up for us where, yes, you're not accepting poor treatment when it comes to finding a job. And you will align. You will align. It might take a couple of months here. So if you do have to do that temp work or do some odd jobs or something like that, it's just for a little while. Okay? It's just for a little while. But there, I think on some timeline, was another major depression that was supposed to occur. And this would have been a worldwide event. We have the chance, and again, we've been in it, okay? But we have the chance to not have history repeat itself to the level it once did. My grandfather told me he was like 5 or 6 years old, and he and his family had to live near the railroad tracks, which I did not understand. But apparently back during the Depression, they had made like a camp. There was an area of land, and it just happened to be by the railroad. And that was where mostly they were left alone. Now, eventually all the kids had to be split up, and it's a really rough story. It's a rough story. So I don't think I know some people are experiencing something similar to that, but I'm saying on like a grand scale, I think we can avoid that. And it's interesting because there's a message coming through too that every single one of us is carrying the lessons and the memories of our ancestors. Now, that's going to mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. If you care to share, always those comments are open to you. If you want to let us know your experience and what that means to you. What is having the memories of your ancestors within you? What is that for you? Okay. Now, when it comes to like famine and, like I come from Irish descent, part of me. Americans, I don't know if it's like this everywhere in the world, but us Americans, we're a mix, okay? So we got a little bit of everything in us. But, I know for sure some of the ancestral lines had to do with famine. It had to do with, and I'm still even doing it now, where a lot of my ancestors would have, like more recent ancestors, would have come to the United States and not been treated well and would have been starving. So they tried to leave that and then didn't find their dream when they came here. So that gets into a deep history. But do you see what I'm getting at here? We carry that wound. Maybe we're not really carrying the wound. Some of us are, but we're carrying those memories. And then you have your timelines. So like I said, it gets a little in the weeds here, but there could be a lot of energies that are influencing us that makes us scared to go hungry, right? Obviously for biological reasons, but also that ancestry and that energetic connection. So we'll hoard things. We're so scared of being without. I think that's a lot of what happened the last time we went through something major in the world, and you know what I'm talking about, right? So we're learning to not let things get really bad before we do something about it. So we're already in the midst of this correction. You may take 3 part-time jobs to make ends meet. Again, it's just for a little while you figure out what your next move is going to be, or while you have resumes out there. That's a potential. Watching your budget. Remember just a few years ago, pardon me, there was, still there's like hauls, right? I think I did a haul one time too, or a couple of hauls, like Christmas haul or something like that. That was the spirit of things. We're feeling abundant. We're getting gifts. We're buying things for ourselves. And it's almost now we're coming into this energy of we need to explore the opposite again. This is what we do. We kind of overcorrect maybe. So living frugally, using what you have. I think a lot of people are going to feel very good about that. Okay. So, and if you notice, things like Dollar Tree have become extremely popular to like, again, when I was growing up, Dollar Tree was where you went with your head held in shame because you're poor and you can't afford anything. And then we realized they had really good gift bags. And then everybody started getting their gift bags from there, and then balloons. And then they just kind of grew from there. But now it's like you're kind of a fool if you think you're too good to go into a Dollar Tree. Do you see what I'm saying? So, and also a lot of people on social media, there's just a lot of examples of this, but a lot of people teaching others how to, like if it was Thanksgiving dinner and you have $20, here's how you can go to the Dollar Tree and get a Thanksgiving meal for, 4 people on $20. Do you see what I'm saying? Again, it's not about fear. This has such a relaxed, this feels so much better. Think about a cluttered house that just gets cleaned out and organized, right? It's freeing. Okay. So there's a lot of that. Again, if you guys are out there and you're looking for a job, don't be disheartened. It's going to be okay. You're realigning to the thing that you need to be aligned with. Now, let me take this opportunity to talk about personal readings with me. If you would like a standard reading, I have 2 different offerings. A standard reading is you submit a form, I do your reading, I email it to you. There's no time commitment on your part, okay? Then there are the live sessions which I have people usually email me because maybe someone rescheduled or I just didn't schedule anybody the next night or whatever. I can sometimes get you in pretty quickly. And I like that flexibility. That's why I ask people to email me. So if you want the live session, email me at angelsouls444@gmail.com. We can set something up. If you want a standard session and you are, well, let me just say this. I'll fix this. I haven't fixed it yet, but I will. If you want a standard reading, go to my website, angelsouls444.com. There are a few countries that if you do one transaction with them, you have to file a tax return. I'm one person. No, it's a no for me. Okay. I can't do it. Now, I have been trying to keep an eye on that, make sure I'm staying on top of it, but it only affects a handful of countries. Okay. Like I think Mexico is one of them. France is one of them. The UK, which is such a bummer because I have so many of you in the UK who get readings with me. I know. Victoria, bless you for being so patient. Well, I figured like Victoria was like hanging in there with me. Like, what was it? Like a month? Like, oh, you were such a sweetheart. Thank you. But then Gumroad, where I have all my courses and I had I still have bonus readings and meditations and all of that. They ended up, I guess there's some sort of certified merchant or something that they do that now they can handle all of that when someone from one of those countries gets their reading through Gumroad. So does that make sense? If you go to my website and you're like, oh, I live in one of these countries, always feel free. If you don't remember, just email me, angelsouls444@gmail.com, and I'll send you the link to go over to gumroad.com/angelsouls. So to be clear, that Gumroad platform, it's not ideal. There's still like fees and stuff involved. So I prefer you use my website. But if you happen to be one of the clients that, for example, in the UK or in Mexico, get with me, then I have to send you over to Gumroad. Okay. It's only in those situations. Otherwise, everybody go through my website. That's where I keep the record I'm most used to, I suppose, and the list that I work through. Okay. I hope that makes sense. And again, if you forget and you're confused, just email me and we'll work it out. Thank you for letting me get through that. And by the way, I have my Angel Souls podcast. I haven't updated that in a hot minute. I've been, as you know, life is crazy. Okay. Life has been a little crazy. And I am also going to be getting back to my book and getting some more chapters up on Substack. So we'll get that all going. I'll keep you posted anyway. Okay. Now let's see what the heck is going on. What are we in for? That's what I want to know. What do we have to get ready for? People glitching. Here's the thing. I think what a lot of us are going to be realizing is that it's a sad moment. It's like certain people are just never going to change. And what do I mean by that? I'm not talking about a lot of people will just take that and run with it. Somebody doesn't act the way I think they should. Therefore, they're bad. And if they'll never change, well, then, blah, 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 I'm righteous and they're not. That's not what we're talking about here. I'm talking about people who don't have true friendships. They treat others like they're pawns in a chess game. And they're a people collector. So, you might fit here for me, or you might be able to do this for me, and not being conscientious about the combining of energies. Now, a lot of people who tend to be light souls, sensitive, spiritual, I don't know. We tend to be very conscientious about energy, and we're very picky. I know now I sound like righteous or whatever, but self-righteous, but we're very picky about who we spend time with. We don't want to spend time with someone who is self-centered and only talks about themselves. We don't want to be around someone who's an energy vampire, who dominates or controls or plays games. Do you see what I'm saying? Does that make sense? I hope it does. Now, having said that, I was asking what's going on. I've got the Queen of Ariel here. And I still got that cough. It's going to linger, I know. Anyway, this is the Queen of Ariel, mature and practical. Pay attention to that. Generous and happy. Nurture yourself and those you love. The ability to make anything more beautiful. Practical and wise advice. Before I hold this up close so you can see it. This feels like realizing you are already abundant and embracing that. I was just telling my sister, actually, it was like we had an ice storm or something, and I wanted some comfort food, and I'm like, well, I was hungry for this one dish, but I didn't have all the ingredients, so I kind of improvised and made something even better than the original dish. I did that when we had all that other stuff going on for those few years, and I made the most awesome Thai basil chicken that I have not been able to replicate because I didn't bother writing it down. Honestly, I wasn't expecting it to be good. But when I took a bite of it, I'm like, I was just winging it too. So this is that kind of feeling where it's like you're making the most of what you have and not begrudgingly. It's sort of like, it feels very good to figure things out, to cook your own meals, do you see what I'm getting at here? To like make your home nice by using what you already have. Okay, so hold that up so you can see that. But Ariel is all about reconnecting to earth, to nature, material manifestation, the root chakra. So you're redefining what matters. You're reprioritizing the wheel. All right, we have the number 10. We're done. We're done with the nonsense. We're done with all of it. It's Archangel Jeremiah. Now, I was talking about timelines and energy kind of sort of filtering into this timeline. Jeremiah is all about life review. Pardon me. So I think a lot of us are stopping and going, is this what I want for my life? Now, this might be for some of you, you've deeply underestimated your abilities, and a lot of your fears have held you back. And so you're going to put in the work. You're going to figure things out. You're going to move forward. And yet for others, you might have gone after what you thought was your dream. And then you went, you know what? I want a more peaceful life. Like, I don't want to be a jet setter and going all of, especially now you don't want to be, but you know, I want to be able to put down roots somewhere and grow and thrive. You see what I'm saying? So that's what a lot of us are doing. We're reevaluating. New beginnings, end of delays, a change in direction that offers happiness, but it very much feels like that change in direction is changing your goals, changing your priorities. Like I said, realizing just along with the Queen of Ariel card, realizing you've already been prosperous this entire time. I like that. All right. Okay. Okay. By shifting our focus, we're going to start manifesting really nice things. And it's sort of like when you are appreciative of what you already have, and this could go for love too, or friendships. Maybe you're feeling like, well, I want to make new friends and all this, but you know, maybe I feel like I'm a little bit not fitting in, or I just assume nobody's going to want to hang out with me. There's something like that around friendship for someone who's watching, or some people who are watching, being so afraid that you're not going to be understood that you don't even try. Okay. So now you're changing your mindset. It might be, okay, well, maybe I'm not 100% I'm not 100% understood, but I do get some value out of whatever. Okay. So it's all this reevaluating your life, taking a different path. 9 of Ariel, your dreams are fulfilled. Hard work leads to great success. A love for the beautiful things in life. Now, you know what's so funny? I always misread this card because I dropped it. Hold on. Dang. Okay. I always misread this card because of the blessings back there, like the rainbow. And I almost always associate that with like like the wish card, like this, but that's not what this is. So anyway, the point here is that you're finding your way by changing your mindset. It's not going to work any other way. Okay. This is another thing. I get a lot of people who come to me for readings and they're not willing to do the work. They're just not willing to do the work. And so they keep coming back. 6 of Gabriel, congratulations. You've done a wonderful job. You see all the really positive cards here? Time to move on to the next project, awards, scholarships, or promotions. Again, this is very much a feeling of you're going to come out victorious, but you have to redefine what victory is for you. If victory for you is just having your life perfect, you'll never be victorious. And you'll be stressed out. You'll have health problems. You'll manifest more stuff that you don't want. Here's the deal. There are 2 huge division tactics that pop up in my mind. Sports, sorry about it, but sports and politics. Well, and I guess religion too, that pops in here too. But like these things that get us seeing each other as enemies, the more you engage in that, and I'll go even further, the more you judge others for not engaging in that, this is hard karma time. It's going to start coming back around. And what's always fascinating to me is like people who do have karma coming to them because they've been cruel or unfair, they gossip, they're judgmental, like I said. When the karma comes for them, they start playing the victim and expect everyone to save them. Do not be the one who saves someone who's just getting their karma. And I'm sure usually people like that, they have a lot of minions around them. So like let the little brainwash minions do whatever they're going to do. So that is our weekly. I'm going to go ahead and film some dailies. I got behind this week. It was very busy. So I got behind with that, but I'm going to get those up. Again, angelsouls444.com for a standard reading. Please just start there, okay? And if you happen to be in one of the countries that's listed there, email me. I'll guide you over to gumroad.com. But if you are within the United States, please don't use gumroad.com. That's just a workaround. That's not where it's like going to be a steady offering. Does that make sense? Okay. So we're going to leave it there. I'm sending you all so much love and take care.